Morning, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. We're in Mark chapter 7, and it says, "Now the Pharisees and some of the experts of the law who came from Jerusalem gathered around him. And they saw that some of Jesus' disciples ate their bread with unclean hands, that is, unwashed. For the Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they perform a ritual washing, holding fast to the tradition of the elders." So there's a lot happening here. They're not washing their hands with soap and water like we do, or putting Purell on their hands as people do to their own detriment. But I digress. They're doing a traditional ablution, it's called. It's a ritual washing. You have to go through this whole rigmarole to do it. And they're like, well, how come these guys aren't following our rules? Well, let's find out. And when they come to the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash. Oh, so that's the Pharisees and the traditional Jews. They hold fast to many other traditions, the washing of cups and pots, kettles, and dining couches. The Pharisees and the experts in the law asked him, "Why do your disciples not live according to the tradition of the elders, but eat with unwashed hands?" And he said to them, "Isaiah prophesied correctly about you hypocrites, as it is written, 'This people honors me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain, teaching as doctrine the commandments of men.'" And that's it. It's like, yeah, so you guys check the boxes of we follow the traditions. We're washing the cups and but you're not following what God said. You're following what men said. Having no regard for the command of God, you hold fast to human tradition. He also said to them, "You neatly reject the commandment of God in order to set up your tradition. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and your mother, and whoever insults his father or mother must be put to death.' But you say that if anyone tells his father or mother, 'Whatever help you would have received from me is korban,' that is a gift for God." So they're saying it's set aside. Instead of giving it to your parents, I'm setting it aside for God. Now they're not giving it to the priests at the temple. It's just set aside. Get the drift? Like, yeah, mom and dad would love to help you, but we have to set this aside for God. Then you no longer permit him to do anything for his father or mother. Thus you nullify the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down, and you do many things like this. Then he called the crowd again and said to them, "Listen to me, everyone, and understand. There is nothing outside of a person that can defile him by going into him. Rather, it is what comes out of a person that defiles him." So he's not saying that the Jewish people shouldn't follow the kosher law. He's not saying, like, just go out and kill a crow or a vulture and just eat it. He's not saying that at all. This is an allusion to something. Like, yeah, we can give you rules about what to put in your body, but that's for your own good. But basically, when you tell other people to follow your rules instead of God's rules, then you're defiled. Now, when Jesus had left the crowd and entered the house, his disciples asked him about the parable. And he said to them, "Are you so foolish? Don't you understand that whatever goes into a person from outside cannot defile him? For it does not enter his heart, but his stomach, and then goes out into the sewer." This means all foods are clean. That's in parentheses. All foods are going to be clean for the Gentile worshipers, the Gentile Christians. And so I would say that a lot of the Jewish Christians probably still kept to the kosher law, but if they were allowed to eat anything. I think this might mean that all edible foods are clean. And that's why they had that kosher law that was given to them out in the desert when they were wandering. It was like, yeah, don't eat things that are going to make you sick. He said, what comes out of a person defiles him, for from within, out of the human heart, come evil ideas, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, evil, deceit, debauchery, which is just doing bad stuff. I think it's mostly bad sexual stuff, but you're just this depraved individual. Envy, slander, pride, and folly. All these evils come from within and defile a person. So, yeah, he says it's a parable that he gave. So when I said it was an illusion, it's a parable. The Syrophoenician woman's faith. So we're talking about up in the area of Syria. This woman is definitely a Gentile. After Jesus left there, he went to the region of Tyre. And so, 27. That's a map. Sidon and Tyre, yeah. When he went into a house, he did not want anyone to know, but he was not able to escape notice. So he wants to get away. Instead, a woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit immediately heard about him and came and fell at his feet. So this is a Syrophoenician woman. This is a Gentile. The woman was a Greek of Syrophoenician origin. So maybe she was a Greek citizen, but I think it just kind of means Gentile. She was not Jewish. She asked him to cast the demon out of her daughter. He said to her, "Let the children be satisfied first, for it is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." So it sounds like Jesus is saying, you're a dog, lady. Now, the word dog here is Caleb. There's a very famous Gentile named Caleb in the book of Joshua. Joshua's sidekick, Caleb, and he represented the tribe of Judah, which is the tribe that Jesus came from, that David came from. So I always look at it like Jesus is saying, you're a Caleb. You know, you're coming to the right place. Caleb was with the right army, with the army of Israel, and he was fighting for the tribe of Judah as they came into the land. But the people that Jesus is going to at this point in time is the Jews. Now, he was healing all kinds of people, especially up there in that area of the Sea of Galilee, which was the tribe of Naphtali. It was, the people who live in darkness have seen a great light. I think that's from the book of Isaiah. So they lived in darkness because there was a lot of non-Jews there, to the point where there's this story of Jesus sending all these pigs into the lake, into the Sea of Galilee. And they were raising pigs there because there were a lot of Gentiles. So, but this woman's stubborn. She answered, "Yes, Lord, but even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." Then he said to her, "Because you have said this, you may go. The demon has left your daughter." She went home and found the child lying on the bed and the demon gone. Then Jesus went out again from the region of Tyre and came through Sidon to the Sea of Galilee in the region of the Decapolis. And Decapolis is 10 cities. They brought to him a deaf man who had difficulty speaking, and they asked him to place his hands on him. After Jesus took him aside privately, away from the crowd, he put his fingers in the man's ears, and after spitting, he touched his tongue. Now, it doesn't say he spit on his tongue, although if you're going to have somebody spit on your tongue, you want it to be Jesus. Then he looked up to heaven and said with a sigh, "Fathom," that is, be opened. And immediately the man's ears were opened, his tongue loosened, and he spoke plainly. Jesus ordered them not to tell anyone, but as much as he ordered them not to do this, they proclaimed it all the more. People were completely astounded and said, "He has done everything well. He even makes the deaf hear and the mute speak." So next we're going to be looking at the feeding of the 4,000. Now, last one was the feeding of the 5,000. And this is going to be great. This is going to be great. Till then, happy birthday to me. I'm 72 today. Hopefully I'll live long enough to read through the entire Bible for you guys. Peace out.